Now the question number 11. The time period of second pendulum is T, where the length is increased by 10 centimeters and its time period T1, when the length is decreased by 10 centimeters, its time period is T2. Then the relation between T1, T and T2 is how much? So first of all, we know the formula T is equal to 2 pi times square root over L by G. So when the length is increased by 10 centimeters, so that means length increased by 10 centimeters, there the time period T1 is equal to 2 pi times square root over L plus 10 divided by G. Then afterwards length decreased by 10 centimeters, that is nothing but T2 is equal to 2 pi times square root over L minus 10 divided by G. So here what happens in this case, here we will write this one as T square is equal to 4 pi square L by G. This can be written as T1 square is equal to 4 pi square L plus 10 divided by G, and which implies T2 square is equal to 4 pi square L minus 10 divided by G. But here T1 square plus T2 square is equal to 4 pi square L plus 10 divided by G plus 4 pi square L minus 10 divided by G. So here 4 pi square by G common, L plus 10 plus L minus 10. 10 gets cancelled. 4 pi square L plus L, how much here? 2L by G. So that means 2 times 4 pi square L by G. So here 2 times 4 pi square L by G means what is that here? T square. That means 2T square. So what is the final output? T1 square plus T2 square is equal to 2T square. So which option is correct here? Option C is correct. Now the question number 12. A metallic ring of radius R and cross-sectional area A is fitted into a wooden circular disc of radius R. Capital R is greater than R. If Young's modulus of metallic ring is Y, the force with which the metal ring expands. So here first of all we are having the ring of radius small r and metallic disc of radius capital R, given capital R greater than small r. So that means we have to insert the ring surrounding the metal disc. So that means the expansion of the metal ring should take place to fit to the disc. So that means here to calculate Young's modulus. So here Young's modulus Y is equal to stress divided by strain. Y is equal, stress is nothing but force by area and strain is nothing but that is length by length. So here F into capital L divided by A into small l. So from this one, which one we want to calculate here? Force. That force is equal to Y into capital A into small l divided by capital L. So one thing we have to remember in this case. So F is equal to Y into A. A is nothing, Y into A is nothing but what is that here? Here F is equal to Y into A, but here length means what is that here? Ring is placed on the disc. So that's why 2 pi times capital R minus small r divided by here L, that is nothing but 2 pi small r. So that means F is equal to 2 pi gets cancelled, Y into A into capital R minus small r divided by small r. So which option is correct here? Y into A capital R minus small r divided by small r. So option B is correct. Now the question number 13. One end of a uniform glass capillary tube of radius r is equal to 0.025 centimeters is immersed vertically in water to a depth H is equal to 1 centimeter. The excess pressure in Newton by meter square required to blow an air bubble out of the tube. Surface tension of water is given 7 into 10 to the power of minus 2 Newton by meter, and density of water that is equal to 10 to the power of 3 kilogram by meter cube. Acceleration due to gravity 10 meters per second square. So here which one required? Excess pressure in Newton by meter square is required to blow an air bubble out of the tube. So first of all given. So radius is equal to 0.025 centimeters, and at what height that is? That means H is equal to 1 centimeter. It is vertically immersed in the water, is equal to 1 centimeter, and surface tension T is equal to 7 into 10 to the power of minus 2 Newton by meter, and density of water that is given 10 to the power of 3 kilogram by meter cube, and acceleration due to gravity 10 meters per second square. 0.025 centimeters means 0.025 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meters, 1 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meters. But here first of all, here excess pressure required. To calculate the excess amount of pressure, first of all H dash is the capillary rise that is equal to 2 surface tension divided by R into D into G. Now here substitution for these values, 2 surface tension 7 into 10 to the power of minus 2 divided by, we are writing this value, that is R is nothing but 0.025 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Here D is nothing but, that is 10 to the power of 3 density into acceleration due to gravity 10. On simplification of this one, we are getting 0.056 meters, that is H dash. But which one we want to calculate here? That is the excess pressure required to blow an air bubble out, that is excess pressure is equal to H dg. D is nothing but density, and H dash D into G. So now on substituting the values here, height is nothing but 1 centimeter, that is height is nothing but 1 centimeter, no? So that we will take as D into G as common, H plus H dash. D is nothing but what is that? 10 to the power of minus 10 to the power of plus 3 into acceleration due to gravity 10 into 0.056 plus 0.01. On calculation of this, 0.066 into 10 to the power of 4 or 0.0060 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton by meter square. So which option is correct here? 0.0066. So that's why which option is correct here? Option B is correct. Now the question number 14. Water in a river 20 meter deep is flowing at a speed of 10 meters per second. The churning stress between the horizontal layers of water in the river in Newton meter square is how much? Coefficient of viscosity of water is given 10 to the power of minus 3. So here coefficient of viscosity given eta is equal to 10 to the power of minus 3 SI units, and when the water in a deep river, that is 20 meters, so that means water is flowing continuously. That's why which one we will take here? Some part of water I will take, that is dx, some particular part, that is equal to 20 meters, then which is moving with a speed, that is dv is equal to 10 meters per second. So which one we want to find here? Churning stress between the horizontal layers of water in the river. So that is churning stress, that is nothing but is equal to eta into dv by dx. So what is eta here? that is 10 to the power of minus 3 into 10 divided by 20. So that is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 2 divided by 20. So this one, what happens in this case? 0.5 into 10 to the power of minus 3 Newton by meter square. So which option is correct here? 0.5 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Option D is correct. Now the question number 15. There are two holes on each along the opposite sides of wide rectangular tank. The cross section of each hole is 0.01 meter square and the vertical distance between the holes is 1 meter. The tank is filled with the water. The net force on the tank in Newton. Then the water flows out of these holes. Density of water is given 1000 kilogram by meter cube. So first of all, given here, this is the vertical rectangular tank. So it is filled with the water, and here one hole and here one hole. The vertical distance between the two holes, that is 1 meter. Vertical distance between the holes is 1 meter, and also the cross section area of hole, that is 0.01 meter square. This is also 0.01 meter square, and this is water, and density of water is equal to 10 to the power of 3 kilogram by meter cube, or otherwise 1000 meter cube. So first of all, given area is equal to 0.01 meter square and density of water is equal to 1000 kilogram by meter cube, and acceleration due to gravity 10 meters per second square. So first of all, force is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass is nothing but what is that? Volume into density into acceleration. But volume means what is that? Area into height into density into acceleration is nothing but due to gravity, that is force here. This one we should remember, this very important one. Then what happens here? This can be written like this also. F is equal to A into H into density into gravity. In this way also we can write D is equal to rho. But which one we want to calculate here? That is the net force on tank. Here the net force on tank when water comes out of the holes, that is net force. F is equal to what is that? This side also water coming and this side also water coming. So that means 2 times A into H into density of water into G. Now substitute here 2 into 0.01 area into height 1 and density 1000 and gravity 10. So on multiplication of all these ones, we are getting the answer 200 newtons. So which option is correct here? Option B is correct. Now the question number 16. A metallic solid sphere is rotating about its diameter of axis of rotation. If the temperature is increased by 200 degrees centigrade, the percentage increase in its moment of inertia is how much? And coefficient of linear expansion of metal is given 10 to the power of minus 5 per degree centigrade. So first of all, alpha is equal to 10 to the power of minus 5 per degree centigrade. So this is given, and here moment of inertia of solid sphere is rotating about its diameter. So that means I is equal to 2 by 5 mr square. So from this, moment of inertia is directly proportional to r square. So that means if you want to take an error change, percentage change, delta I by I into 100 is equal to 2 times delta r by r into 100. So this one we know, but actually this coefficient of linear expansion can be written as alpha is equal to change in, that is r, that is radius, divided by original into rise in temperature. So from this, delta R by R is equal to alpha into delta T. This is 1, this is 2. Substituting 2 in 1, that is delta I by I into 100 is equal to 2 times alpha into delta T into 100. So that means what happens here? 2 into 10 to the power of minus 5, but here change in temperature is given, increased temperature, that is delta T is equal to 200 degrees centigrade into 200 into 100. So then what happens on this one, on calculation of this one? 0.4%. So which option is correct here? 0.4%. So the answer is 0.4. Now the question number 17. Two identical vessels A and B with frictionless pistons contains the same ideal gas at the same temperature and the same volume. If the masses of the gases in A and B and MA and MB respectively, the gases are allowed to expand isothermally, so the same find volume 2V. The change in pressure of the gas in A and B are found to be delta P and 1.5 delta P respectively. Then what is the relation between the masses? So first of all, initially what happens here? There is a two vessels. So here this is vessel A and this is vessel B. What happens if with frictionless pistons? Here this is frictionless pistons. This is P1 and this is P2 pistons, and same temperature. So both are having same temperature and same volume. Both are having same volume, and the masses, those are MA and MB, and the gases are allowed to expand isothermally. Now these two gases expands isothermally. Isothermally means constant temperature, those are expansion takes place. Then what happens here? This volume of these two changes to 2V, and here also 2V. So initially there will be pressure change must be takes place. So for vessel A, that is pressure is delta P, and for this one 1.5 delta P pressure must be takes place. So according to the ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. PV is equal to nRT. So then what happens in this case here? PV is equal to nRT means P is equal to N into R into T divided by V. That means volume. So this equation I will use to find out the relation between masses. So here first of all, what happens in this case? So for vessel A, P1 is equal to number of moles in A is Na into R into T divided by volume V. Similarly, we are taking for vessel A only. So after changing the pressure, P2 is equal to Na RT divided by 2V. Now I will find the pressure. Delta P is equal to P2 minus P1. So whenever you are taking P2 minus P1, we are getting number of molecules in A into RT divided by 2V. So we know that Na means what is that? Na is equal to mass of A by molecular weight. Now I am substituting here mass of A divided by molecular weight into R into T divided by 2V. So this equation I will take this one as 1. Whenever we are taking similarly for vessel B, Similarly for vessel B, what is that? This one is pressure as delta P. I told this one. For vessel B, 1.5 delta P is equal to minus mass of B divided by molecular weight into RT divided by 2V. This is second equation. Now 2 divided by 1. 1.5 delta P divided by delta P is equal to minus mass of B divided by capital M into RT divided by 2V divided by minus MA divided by molecular weight RT divided by 2V. RT divided by 2V, molecular weight, minus plus delta P cancel. So 1.5 can be written as 3 by 2 is equal to mass of B divided by mass of A. So on multiplication of these two, 3 times mass A is equal to 2 times mass B. So here in options, which option is correct here? 3 times mass A is equal to 2 times mass B. Option B is correct. Now observe the 18th question. The pressure and density of a given mass of gas, diatomic gas, gamma is equal to 7 by 5, change adiabatically from P to D and P dash and D dash. If D dash by D is equal to 32, that means density ratio is 32, then pressure ratio P dash by P is how much? Gamma is the ratio of specific heats. So this question solution is already uploaded in our channel in 2001 playlist, and check the iCards. Now the question number 19. If 4 moles of an ideal monoatomic gas at temperature 400 Kelvin is mixed with 2 moles of another ideal monoatomic gas at temperature 700 Kelvin, the temperature of the mixture is how much? So first of all here, 4 moles of an ideal monoatomic gas which is at temperature 400 Kelvin and 2 moles of ideal monoatomic gas which is at temperature 700 Kelvin are mixed together. That means are mixed together. So here which one we want to calculate here? The temperature of mixture, that is T is equal to M1 T1 plus M2 T2 divided by M1 plus M2. Here number of moles, no, so mass can be calculated, the number of moles. 4 into 400 plus 2 into 700 divided by 4 plus 2 is equal to 4 into 400 is nothing but 1600, 2 into 700 400, 4 plus 2 is 6. So addition of this one 0, 0, 0, 3 divided by 6 is equal to 500 degrees centigrade. So which option is 500 degrees Kelvin? Which option is correct here? Option D. Now the question number 20. A black body of mass 34.38 grams and surface area 19.2 centimeter square is at an initial temperature of 400 Kelvin. It is allowed to cool inside an evacuated enclosure kept at constant temperature 300 Kelvin. The rate of cooling is 0.04 degrees centigrade per second. The specific heat body in joules kg to the power of -1 k to the power of -1 is how much? And Stephen constant is given sigma equal to 5.73 into 10 to the power of -8 watt meter to the power of -2 k to the power of -4. So to solve this one, first of all we will write this is black body. So in this black body the mass is given 34.38 grams. Here 34.38 into 10 to the power of -3 kilograms, and surface area A is equal to 19.2 centimeter square, 19.2 into 10 to the power of -4 meter square, and the initial temperature we will take that one, temperature T is equal to 400 Kelvin, and also afterwards that is enclosure kept constant, so that's why T naught is equal to 300 Kelvin, and here given d theta by dt, what is this one? Rate of cooling is equal to 0.04 per degree per second, degrees per second. So this one we have to remember this one very carefully now. Now here which one we want to calculate here? Specific heat, and Stephen constant is given 5.73 into 10 to the power of minus 2 minus 8 watt meter to the power of minus 2 K to the power of minus 4. So here which one we want to calculate here? The specific heat of the body. So we know the formula, rate of cooling d theta by dt is equal to sigma into A into T to the power of 4 T naught to the power of 4 divided by M into S. But specific heat S, no? S is equal to sigma into A T to the power of 4 minus T naught to the power of 4 divided by M into d theta by dt. Now substitute the values. Sigma value 5.73 into 10 to the power of minus 8 into area 19.2 into 10 to the power of minus 4. But here 400 to the power of 4 minus 300 to the power of 4 divided by mass, that is 34.38 into 10 to the power of minus 3 into d theta by dt, that is what is that? 0.04 centigrade by second, but we have to convert that one here 4 into 10 to the power of minus 5. This one we have to remember very carefully. Now what happens in this case? 5.73 into 19.2 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Here 4 4s are, that is 4 to the power of 4 minus 3 to the power of 4 into 10 to the power of 8. Why? Because here square into 2 is 8. So common here, divided by 34.38 into 4 into 10 to the power of minus 5. But here I wrote wrong here, 4 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Why? Because 0.04, that is 4 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Now I will write here minus 3 minus 2, I wrote here minus 5. Now here simplification on all these ones, 110.016 into 256, that means 4 to the power of 4 minus 3 to the power of 4 81 divided by 137.52 into simply 10 on simplification of all these powers. So here 110.016 divided by 137.52 into 175 into 10 is equal to 0.8 into 175 is equal to 8 into 175. On solvation of this one, we will get that one is 1400 joule kg to the power of minus 1 and k to the power of minus 1. So we are getting this answer 8 into, we are getting the answer, which option is correct here? 1400 Kelvin. Now here how it got here 0.8, here 10 is there, 10 is multiplied with 8, 8 into 175, 1400 joule kg to the power of minus 1 Kelvin to the power of minus 1.